In today's video, we're going to be talking about personal space and physical contact when interacting with a blind person. That's today's video. Let's get into it. Hey everyone, it's Matt. Welcome back to another Blind to Billionaire video, and today I am joined by Corey to discuss today's topic, how to get freaky and physical with a blind person. No, I'm just kidding. That's actually not today's topic. Today's topic is...
That's tonight's topic.
That's tonight's topic for the adult version of this video. No, actually we're going to be talking about personal space and physical touch when it comes to interacting with blind people. So this is something that I actually encountered maybe about a week ago out in public, and I thought, this would be a really interesting video to discuss. Before we get into it, does Corey have any thoughts?
No, I don't, but this is something that I think this is really important.
Yeah, this is really important. So couple quick takeaways from this video. What I would say is, initially getting into it is, if you're going to be approaching someone who is blind or visually impaired, I think it's very important to maybe announce your presence and arrival. So for example, one of my relatives is actually really good with this, and every time I see her, she always approaches me and says, "Hey Matt, it's Debbie, I'm coming in for a hug." So then I'm prepared. I know what's going on, rather than just someone who just creeps up and "Hello, here I am, here for a hug." And then it freaks me out because I don't even know that person is there.
Or really, yeah, the big thought is I do this every day. I just creep in for a hug without any noise. I'm very quiet like a mouse.
Yep.
And I just sneak in, and then Matt, it freaks Matt out.
Yeah, I
do this every day.
I didn't want to say that specifically, but now that Corey brought it up, it's actually a perfect example. Yes, Corey does that, and hopefully by now I think she's learning, but occasionally...
I sometimes just do it to annoy him.
Well, it's not a good thing to annoy me.
Yeah.
But Corey is not very good at this. I'll be somewhere doing something and she'll just appear out of nowhere, and she's a foot away from me, and she's "Oh, here, I'm here to give you a hug." And it's no. Because first of all, I didn't know you were there. You just freaked me out because you just appeared out of nowhere. And now you're basically touching me when I didn't even think there was a person next to me. So, not cool with that.
Yeah, and you know what I think it is? And we've talked about this in other videos. I genuinely forget that he can't see. And so I just creep around him and want to have my face touching his face all the time. Mm-hmm. But he can't see that I'm there.
Yeah. And actually, what was interesting...
we did this happened this morning.
Yeah. In the intro of this video, what's kind of funny is, as I was recording the intro, I could actually sense that she was getting closer to me, and it's oh... It's kind of weird, but anyway.
That's what happens every day.
Yeah, but when she just creeps up on me, for a hug or whatever she wants, just to be close, which is, get out of my space, I can sense that she's there, but she has to be very close. And there are a couple of instances where I've been putting on a sweatshirt or something like that, and when I put my sweatshirt on, it's this big production. My arms are flying everywhere. And occasionally, a couple times, accidentally, I've actually hit her on accident. Putting my sweatshirt on, my arms are flying everywhere, and there I go whacking her because she's too close to me.
Yeah, that has happened a bunch of times.
Yeah, I would never hit someone on purpose, but putting my sweatshirt on, I didn't know she was there, and whack, there it goes, I hit her on accident. So I would just, I think it's very important to announce presence when someone is blind or visually impaired in the area.
And actually, kind of one thing I want to add about this, Matt's niece's parents, Matt's brother and sister-in-law, I think have done a really good job, and his parents, I think, when they're with them, do a good job of having the kids announce when they're coming, because they're so short and small that it's easy for Matt to barrel over them, or for him to not know that they're coming in for a hug, and they're so little that they're just wrapped around his leg all of a sudden, or his tummy, and the next thing you know, there's a little child attached to him. So the rule is always tell Matt you're coming in for a hug, or Matt, so-and-so's coming in for a hug. Don't you think that's a really, I think with kids, you have to probably do a better job than if I get knocked over, honestly, it's on me. But if I don't teach a child that's actually really a big deal.
Yeah.
I just thought of that. Actually.
Yeah, that's actually really good. I would say to giving credit to my brother and sister-in-law, I think like Corey said, they've done an excellent job teaching the kids from the very start. Like it's very important to announce your presence and let me know when they're coming in. The older one, she does a great job. The younger one, she is pretty wild and she just kind of just does her own thing. You never really know. If I hear footsteps coming really fast, I know to like brace and protect.
Yeah.
Because you never know what's going to happen with her, but she's a funny character, that's for sure.
Yeah. And they're both like, the older one's older and the younger one is pretty, she talks a lot. So it's, I mean, she doesn't typically totally silently come in, but it is a good, I think it's a really good thing to be aware of though.
Yeah. Now I'm actually going to make a dedicated video about this at some point, but I want to share a little experience that I had a couple days ago at the gym. And this was really weird. I've actually never had this happen up until this day, and I didn't know what to do. But when we go to the gym, I walk into the men's locker room by myself. Obviously, Corey doesn't go in there. But I bring my cane in with me, and I trail the wall in, and then I get to my locker. If I trail the wall, it brings me directly to my locker. Well, I was walking in, and there's always a cart, like this plastic bin cart full of towels right next to my locker. So I anticipate it's going to be there because it's there probably 90% of the time. So I trail the wall in until I whack the cart, and then I walk around the cart. Well, I was walking in, trailing the wall, and about one step before I should have hit the cart, all of a sudden a hand reached out, grabbed my arm, and like jerked me out away from the wall as I was trailing it, and like tried to pull me out of the way of the cart. So my initial reaction was like, whoa, like, thank you, thanks for helping me. And then this hand, by the way, there was never a voice or any communication of any kind. This person never said a word to me.
He had his cane out.
I had my cane out, I was trailing the wall. This person never said a word to me, but he grabbed my arm and jerked me out from the wall. And then he tried to continue pulling me. I don't know where he was trying to take me, but all of a sudden I kind of like ripped my arm out of his hand and I said, whoa, like, I'm good. Thanks. And then I went back to the wall and continued on. I was so caught off guard, I didn't know what to do. But that was the first experience I've had where someone like grabbed me physically and started like pulling me. And I thought, this is so weird. But my point is, like, there was no communication. That guy just came up and just grabbed me. And I thought, this is not okay. What does somebody else do in that situation?
And I'm sure he was trying to help, but there's literally no way of knowing. And like, I'm just thinking as you're retelling this story, I'm thinking like as a woman, I mean, that is like horrifying. To think of somebody grabbing me like that would be so scary, even if it had good intention.
I just want to say, I'm sure that guy...
I'm sure it was good intention.
It was definitely good intentions that this guy was trying to help me out, but it was just weird that it made me think like this type of video is very important to share the importance of announcing someone's presence rather than just going up and grabbing someone like that. I know a lot of people have talked about just people randomly walking up and grabbing you, but I've never experienced it until then, about a week ago, and that was so weird to me.
That is
that
weird.
Someone would just grab me like that.
I think just like kind of off that topic, but not quite the same. I think your personal space bubble might be bigger than some people. And the other thing that we talk about, like in crowds, is sometimes like when sighted people are walking in a crowd, we walk really close to each other if you're leaving a concert or you're in a theme park or something like that. But with Matt, because he can't see the feet and the backs of the people in front of us, I think that he hates it when I accidentally make him trip on people, which is obviously horrible of me. But you know what happens? So like we leave more personal space between us and the people in front of us walking. That's kind of a personal space thing and a physical contact thing. And then just in general, don't you think you might have a tiny bit bigger bubble of like personal space bubble for your own safety?
For both of those points. When Corey and I are walking in a crowd, I really like to stay back from the people in front because there's so many times where, I mean, let's be honest, I'm taller than Corey, my gait is bigger than hers.
And now that he uses the cane too, that's a big one, because without the cane, that was, I mean, now the cane adds a few, I don't know how much space.
But not only that, even without the cane, we'll be walking and all of a sudden there I step on the person in front of me, I step on the back of their heel. And well, okay, I've done it one time, but when I do it like more than one time, it's like, okay, now the person turns around and looks at you and they're like, what do you, like, they give you that look, like back off kind of thing. So I'm always telling Corey, like, let's back off a little bit, give him some space.
And that's really on me. But I do think actually Matt brings up a good point. Our gaits are totally different.
Yeah, so Corey can trail much closer than I can.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
But I think that kind of tying back in the topic,
Yep.
announce yourself before you go into a blind person's space.
Mm-hmm.
Or even just entering a room. Like sometimes I'll enter Matt's office without like saying anything. And again, I talk at a constant rate. So why I enter his office quiet is really beyond any of us.
Yeah, that's weird.
But it happens a lot
Mm-hmm.
where like I will enter his space without talking.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not the best.
Yeah.
And then he scares me, like
Right.
we scare each other also like 50 times a day.
Well, yeah.
Which is
There was another point I wanted to hit on. What were we talking about?
Grabbing each other and trailing.
Right. Okay. But yeah, that's definitely important. Oh, that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk just a really quick story. So after yesterday's live stream, well, I just gave it away. We're actually recording this on Sunday.
Yeah.
But anyway,
we don't always record stuff in order, but here we are.
Right. Yeah. But
Sunday night.
after yesterday's live stream, I received an email from someone, Katie. So shout out to Katie if you're watching this. But anyway, she apparently does some type of like judo or something. Sorry, Katie, if I'm not saying that correctly. But she does some kind of martial arts. And what she was saying...
Jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, that could be it. I don't know. Could be
I don't
it.
know.
It's something like that. Some type of martial arts, anyway. But she was basically saying she wanted to send in a video of her demonstrating like some... Again, I'm probably going to get this wrong. Some type of like protective move. And basically what the story behind it was, she was walking into a Starbucks and apparently some guy like grabbed her on the shoulders. So it kind of made me think like, that'd be kind of a funny situation where some guy walks up and trying to help this blind girl and she like whips out some judo moves and like chops his neck or something.
But that's what everybody should do.
Yeah.
If you're...
I thought it was funny
so
reading that email because I
crazy.
thought that'd be just like the funniest thing to watch and witness.
I think actually, really everybody should probably know
Yeah.
protective moves. And also, I think everybody should know CPR.
Yeah.
That's
I feel like that's getting a little
sidebar,
off topic, but
totally
yeah.
off topic, but I've been thinking about that lately. I think that's a good thing. But anyway, totally off topic.
Yeah.
But I do think that like having some moves for safety really makes sense, especially if the person doesn't speak to you.
Yeah. That's
I
weird.
mean, if you're like, hey, you're gonna fall into a hole, that's okay. I mean, thanks for saving me. But if that's not what they're saying when they grab you, you should probably punch them in the face.
Yeah, especially being a female and being grabbed by a male, that's a little bit concerning. I would be freaked out.
Yeah,
like
that's
for
just
me,
really
being grabbed by
crazy
another guy, like it's not that big of a deal to me. And if a woman grabbed me, I mean, I wouldn't really be all that worried about it. But I don't know, being like a female and being grabbed by a guy, that just seems weird.
Just in general, that just seems really like, again, something that just wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
But you know what? Do I do that to you? I probably jerk you around sometimes. I think I'm better than I used to be.
I definitely, yeah.
People though who guide you do.
Yeah, if I'm ever walking
kind of a whole
like
other video really, but it's
yeah,
true.
we can get into that in a different video actually.
Okay, but just as a sidebar, when you're guiding somebody, that also is a time when you can be disruptive of their personal space and physical contact in a way that's like aggressive.
Yeah. I feel like we got way off topic on this video.
No, I feel like we're doing pretty good.
Okay.
I always feel like we're doing good.
Right.
Matt always is like, we're staying off topic.
Yeah.
But let's wrap it up. Do you think?
Okay.
Or kind of...
Do you have final thoughts?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Do you? Do you want to say your things?
Yeah, I think the whole idea behind this, like we've said it so many times in this video, is basically just to communicate. I mean, that's the bottom line. Just communicate. It's so important because, I mean, let's be honest with this. If we're blind or visually impaired, we can't see what's going on around us. So our mode of transportation, our like communication is through what we hear, right? There's not nonverbals. We can't see hand gestures, anything like that, facial expressions. So it's just very important to communicate.
And we do say, I would say in our house, one of the things that we say a lot is like, are you here? Where are you?
Yeah. Hello?
Are you here? Hello?
Hello?
Hello? I mean, we do a lot of
like
Marco Polo, basically.
Yeah.
But that's what happens. That's how he knows I'm here, and that's what we do.
But if you're a sighted person and you're watching this video wondering, like, what can I do when I see a blind person? I would definitely say stand back a couple steps and announce your presence. Be like, hey, excuse me, can I help you out in any way? Something like that. Something as simple as that. I would never ever recommend walking up and just grabbing someone.
Would you
That's
say,
definitely a
like,
no.
let's say that I saw someone who was blind in the locker room who was struggling or something. I felt I needed to, in some way, like, maybe their locker, they were right in front of my locker and I needed to get to it or something.
Mhm.
Would you say, like, excuse me, ma'am, in the black shirt? Would you say, like, would you do something to be more specific so that she knew you were talking to her? Like,
No.
because that's actually, this is something that's a good question.
You could, but here's my
Like, what would you
recommendation
do?
for that. My
Like, how
recommendation,
you-
if you're the sighted person, I'd step back and let her do her thing and then just go in. Like, step back, be patient, and let her do what she needs to do and until she's gone, and then I would move in. But what
But
happened?
what if you wanted to, for some reason, let's say I saw a blind person and I wanted to go up to them and say something to them?
Like you wanted to help them?
Not even help, but just like, let's say I want to be like, hey, my husband's blind. How should I approach a blind person?
Oh,
How do you want to be approached? Because this goes in with the personal
Yeah.
contact, I think, and space bubble.
I guess, again, announce that you're there. Yeah, probably something like that. Like, hi, excuse me. I have no idea. I noticed your cane. I don't know. I don't really know.
Yeah, this is a thing that I want to know.
Like, I don't really know what's the best way to approach someone. Like, what is, I don't know, blind people etiquette as far
That'd
as...
be a good one.
That is, I don't know. I'm not really sure what the best approach is because we've been in this situation where we've wanted to approach blind people that we've seen out in public and it's like, I don't know what to say to them.
We're too scared.
Well, we've done it a few times, but actually just the other day we saw...
A blind woman with
I shouldn't
a
say
dog.
we. Corey saw a blind woman with a guide dog.
And a child, like a 10-year-old.
And it was just like a couple miles from where we live. And it's like, oh, it'd be cool to talk to her, but I honestly don't know how to approach her. I don't know what to say. Like, hey, I see that you're blind. I am too.
Yeah, and I don't think you had your cane. If you had
No,
your cane,
I
I
didn't have
think
my
I would have
cane.
felt a little less awkward because it would have been like then two blind people together instead of just me being like, hey, he's blind.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I feel like it's an interesting...
Sure.
How to approach a blind person, how to give them space.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything else you want to add, Matt?
Right.
I feel like you're...
Yeah. No, I just feel like we got way off topic on this video. But anyway, it's a lot of fun to just sit here and chat and that's, I don't know.
But I think these are all good points about contacting and being in contact with a blind person.
Yeah, I think so. Anyway, let us know your suggestions. Like, what do you think? How do you like to be approached when you're out in public? If somebody walks up, just give us your ideas. What do you think about, I don't know, people randomly walking up and touching you? I feel like I already know the answer on that one.
How do you create your space?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you do to create a boundary with your space? How do your family members know to dive in or give you space?
I know one way you could create space. Swing your cane nice and wide.
Nice and wide, yep. But also, like, if you have kids, I'm curious, like, how do you handle that? Like, with telling your kids to, hey, you know, come over or not, or how do you do that? I'd be curious.
Yeah. Anyway, we'd love to hear from all of you, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, as always.
Things.
Yeah, cool. All right.
Thank you.
Stay safe out there, everybody. We'll be thinking of you. Anyway, we're always here for you. If you ever need anything, leave a comment down below, send us an email, whatever you want, but we're here for you.
Yes.
So.
Especially with people being in social isolation, more isolation right now than usual, maybe. We are here, and we, you know, are your friends.
Yep, that's what we're doing. All right, have a nice week, everybody. We'll see you on Thursday.
Bye.
Bye.
You can't wait to see me now, 'cause lately you